home of the Bruins.
And welcome to Ron Devers Gymnasium on the campus of North Hardin High School for a Boys District High School basketball game. The homestanding Trojans of North Hardin High School prepare to host the Bruins of Central Hardin. Along with Bobby Thompson, this is Lee Bramlett. Hardin County Educational and Community Television welcomes you to continuing coverage of high school sports. Bobby Thompson, number one has been decided. John Hardin's victory over Fort Knox, coupled with the Elizabethtown loss to North Hardin, secures the number one seed for the Bulldogs. But positions 2, 3, and 4 still to be ironed out.
Yes, they are. Tonight, some of that ironing will take place between the North Hardin Trojans and the Central Hardin Bruins. And for both of these teams coming in, it's a big game, and it's a lot closer than I thought it would have been earlier in the year. Usually the athleticism of the Trojans just outmatches the grit and determination that comes from Central Hardin. It was a different story earlier in the year as it was a very tight ball game. But tonight's game, there's a different feel in this gym as we've gotten here. And while it's not as full, there is a different feel to tonight's game than most of the Central Hardin, North Hardin games that we've been.
As you take a look at the two teams warming up just a couple of minutes away from the start of this ball game, the homestanding Trojans are 15-7 overall. They're 4-3 in the district. Their last game 6 days ago when they defeated Elizabethtown 50-47. With that puts them in line. A win here tonight against Central clinches the number 2 seed, presumably against maybe this Central Hardin team again. A lot of scenarios still to play out, but North is a team that sort of found itself here late in the year. They've won 3 of their last 4, 5 of their last 7. Their only loss in that 3-1 mark was to John Hardin, but a game they very much had some chances in.
Yes, they definitely did. And they've come to play the second half of the district schedule. They've started to play a lot better. They had a comeback win against that against Elizabethtown the other night, and then against John, they came back after John got out to a double-digit lead. They came back, and actually the Trojans took the lead at one point before giving it up late in the game. And what John Hardin does is ultimately wear you down, and they did that. But for North Hardin, they have found some ways to win, and they've been able to take some shots from the opposing team and then come back still and play solid, especially in the fourth quarter. But it all is predicated on their ability to stay out of foul trouble. Their ability against E-Town the other night was they weren't in foul trouble the fourth quarter, and they amped up the defensive pressure tremendously and created turnovers, and from those turnovers created a lot of points.
Bruins coming to this ball game with a record of 8-9. They're 3-3 in district play, although this is a team, Central, that is struggling as of late. They've lost 3 straight for their last 5. Their last game, an 88-51 loss at the hands of South Oldham. Now, these two teams met earlier in the year, a game which North Hardin got out a double-digit lead in the second half, but Central fought their way back, got 30 points from Troy Squires that night, tied the game going into the fourth quarter. Actually, I think had a lead there early in the fourth quarter. North pulled away for a 59-54 win. J.C. Wright's got to rekindle the magic of that game and in order to get a win here tonight.
And you look at this lineup, Troy Squires, as you said, can put up 30. We've seen Alex Crowder earlier in this year against John Hardin put up over 20 points. So they have some scores on the floor, but they've got to be able to create shots. John Hardin really put a man-to-man on Troy Squires. It kept him from getting that open shot. It opened up Alex Crowder, who was able to get some points. So Central Hardin has got some tools there. They've got to be able to create some shots, stay out of foul trouble, and really put the pressure on this North Hardin team.
Thanks to the sponsors making possible coverage of this ball game. Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, E-Town Exterminating, Bluegrass Cellular, ETownApartments.com, by Mark Harris Construction, and by West Point Bank. Again, setting the scenarios, John Hardin has clinched the number 1 seed for the district tournament. North Hardin, a win tonight, clinches them the number 2 seed. Central Hardin, a win tonight, then a win against Fort Knox. They would get the number 2 seed, wouldn't drop North Hardin down to a 3. Elizabethtown would be in the 4 seed. Of course, Elizabethtown still with a chance maybe to sneak up and get the 3, but they would have to run the table in their last 3 games of the district, 2 of those against John Hardin. We're going to send it right now over to Malachi Mullins for the introduction of the starting lineups for tonight's game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to North Hardin High School in Ron Devers Gymnasium on tonight's contest between the visiting Central Hardin Bruins and your North Hardin Trojans. Now the starting lineups. First, the visitors on the visiting scoreboard, the Central Hardin Bruins. At guard, number 12, Andy Kerr. At guard, number 14, Troy Squires. At forward, number 21, Cody Elmore. At forward, number 31, Dylan Glenn. And at forward, number 35, Alex Crowder. The Bruins are coached by Mr. J.C. Wright. And now for your North Hardin Trojans! At guard, a 6'1" sophomore, number 5, Tyron Floaters King. At guard, a 6'6" junior, number 33, Kyle, big three-point machine, Rashid. At guard, a 6' senior, number 12, Ruben RG12 Gosa. At center, a 6'6" senior, number 42, Tyler Longlegs Landry. And at guard, a 6' senior, Scotty Starowski. Your Trojan coaches are Michael Cofer, Darren Murray, and Gary Valentine, and the Trojan head coach is Ron Bevers.
North won the first game of the season series back on January 2nd in a 59-54 ball game. Again, North led 28-18 at halftime, went double-digit lead early in the third quarter, but then Central fought their way back, tied the game at 40 going into the third, had a lead in the fourth quarter. North was able to regain their composure and pull away to the 5-point victory in that game. It was Ruben Goza with 14 to lead the way for North Hardin. As we mentioned, Troy Squires had a big night, finished with 30 points for the Bruins. Alex Crowder, Tyler Landry in the center jump circle. And we're just about set to get this one underway. As the tap will be controlled by the Bruins. North starts out man-to-man. Kerr, Crowder. Ball knocked away by Starowski. Ball goes to the floor. Squires tried to go for the rescue, but feet dragged the sideline, and it comes back to North Hardin.
And North Hardin, from the last game that we had against Elizabethtown, cranked up that man-to-man pressure, that time getting in the face of the Bruins and causing that first turnover of the game.
Goes across the time stripe, gets the ball to King. They're looking for Landry down low. We get a whistle and a travel call. Turnover gives it back to Central Hardin.
King let himself get off balance that time as Troy Squires really got into his face and knocked his pivot foot loose, and a simple turnover back to the Bruins. Andy Kerr bringing it up now over the half-court stripe.
Hands the ball off to Crowder. Now Squires. He'll try a three-pointer. In and out, no good. Rashid comes down with a rebound for North Hardin. Quickly on the run. Here's Starowski the other way. Starowski, nice move. Drives to the glass, up and in.
And I think that's the game that North Hardin wants to play. They want to get into a track meet with this Central Hardin team. Central Hardin's more of a half-court offensive type of team, and at that time the defense unable to get back. A good one-on-one play by Starowski, and now the steal to Gosa.
North quickly going the other way. Gosa, a little runner off the glass, up and in.
RG12 Gosa.
And Gosa quickly again, not letting the defense for Central Hardin set up, getting it down quickly, getting a shot off, but getting good shots off both times.
Just over a minute into the ball game. North out quickly, 4-0. We'll get a whistle and a foul on Starowski, which will be his first, team first in the ball game.
That's his first, team's first.
Cody Elmore will inbound the basketball for Central Hardin. Elmore will bring the ball into Kerr. Kerr with Gosa out front, hands the ball back to Elmore. Rashid guarding him. Looking, they get to Squires. Squires leans in, dishes off. Crowder will try a three-pointer from the other side. No good. Landry goes and gets the rebound. And North has numbers, 3-on-1. Starowski back to King, just can't pull it in. It'll go out of bounds back to Central Hardin.
It was a good look. It's almost like the weave play that you practice every single practice, it seems like. And that time, just a little strong on the pass from Starowski to King.
Central basketball, bringing it the length of the floor. 6:17 to go in the first. Crowder with a basketball, or check that, that is Dylan Glenn. Glenn back out to Kerr. Kerr on the drive, dishes off to Squires. Squires bounce pass over to Elmore. Now dishes back in front, three-point attempt on the way, off the rim, no good. Glenn gets his own miss, puts it back up, can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to Starowski. Central trying to push the issue in the corner. Three on the way by Gosa is good.
And Gosa now with 5 of the 7 points, and J.C. Wright teaming up, going to take a timeout at the 5:46 mark of this first quarter.
Timeout, Central Hardin.
A 30-second timeout called by J.C. Wright
Central Hardin is number 23,
at 5:46 remaining to go here in the first quarter. North Hardin quickly out of the gate, 7-0.
And that time on that rebound, Staruski gets it. He dribbles it up court. And even though he got the ball directly underneath the hoop, he beat 3 of the Central Hardin Bruins up the court and kicked it into the corner where Gosa was. Gosa was a contested three-pointer but knocks it down. But I think that's the pace of play that Coach Beveridge wants for his Trojan squad, is to constantly go, go, go. And they're getting out in front of the Central Hardin defense. And we've seen basically a layup by Staruski, about a 7-foot jumper from Gosa, and then Gosa hits the 3 in the corner. So very good start for this Trojan team.
Very quickly, J.C. Wright goes to his bench as he brings number 23, T.J. Gordon, into the lineup. Or we thought he was bringing him in. Apparently the officials waved him off. So Elmore has to come back into the ballgame. Gordon will wait. And now North applies the full court pressure. Pass a little too strong, right to the hands of Gosa. Gosa will pull up free throw line jumper. Got it.
Gosa feeling it tonight. 7 points early in this first quarter of play.
And makes it a 9-0 lead. And a foul on North Hardin.
I believe that's going to be on Tyler Landry. It is. And Landry can't afford to go into foul trouble. If he's out of there, there really isn't a player that drops down. Sometimes Rasheed drops down into his spot and plays that more post spot. But that's a time when Central Hardin will try to go inside with the Tyler McCullough or even a T.J. Gordon who's checked in now.
And even then, the foul there, you don't want that foul 75 feet away from the basket. You could take it if he's on the block trying to defend. As Crowder drives right down the lane, Staruski watches him, puts it up and in.
And a good job that time from Crowder as he was able to beat Staruski off the dribble and get inside. And North Hardin really going to that man-to-man. Central Hardin has spread them out all over the three-point line.
9-2 the score. North with the basketball and the 7-point edge. Gosa with it, down to the corner. Staruski lobs it to Landry, and they'll get a charge on Landry, and that's 2 fouls now on Tyler Landry.
And that was a situation where he turned directly into him. Didn't think anyone was going to be behind him, but the defender was able to sneak over, drop down, play some weak side defense, and got in there, took the charge.
Central Hardin brings number 20, Jacob Barnes, into the lineup. Landry will stay in with those 2 fouls. Crowder with the basketball. Ahead, Glenn with it. Glenn, Squires launches a long three-pointer, no good. Rasheed gets the rebound. And North quickly on the run. Here's King with it, dishes in the corner. Staruski will square up with a three-pointer. In and out, no good. Crowder with a rebound.
And while the shot didn't go in, that's the type of shot they want. King did a very good job. He took the ball straight to the center of the court and then dished it off, and an open 3 for Staruski just doesn't fall.
Glenn tried to go inside to Gordon, but Rasheed makes the steal. And now North the other way. Staruski 3-on-2 for North. Down underneath, Landry will bank it off the glass.
And a good job by Staruski with that assist that time. It looked like he was going to pass it out to the three-point line, dumps it down low, and Landry gets his first 2 of the night.
At the other end, here's Glenn banking it off the glass.
Glenn taking advantage of the 2 fouls by Tyler Landry and Landry's inability to really go up strong in defending.
Halfway home in this first quarter, a 9-0 run by North, providing the margin right now as Landry to the inside, puts it up and in, and will go to the line.
And Landry going to get his 4th point and going to go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play, and a good job of recognizing where he is. And they've actually dropped in 2 players on the post as Rasheed was about on the block and Landry was almost under the basket, but good recognition from the guard to pass it inside, and an easy basket for the Trojans.
Kerr back to the into the ball game as Landry's free throw kicks off the back of the rim. Central defenders battling for the ball, finally coming down with it. Barnes will hand it back to Squires. Out front, Kerr will take it. 3:46 to go first quarter. And we get a turnover against Central Hardin.
Into the game for North Hardin is number 2, Nick Speedy Lewis.
Nick Lewis, number 2, checks into the lineup.
He takes the spot of Landry as he takes a seat with those 2 fouls.
Goes across the time stripe. In the paint, Staruski, free throw line jumper, pushes it up, no good. Barnes goes and gets the rebound.
Good job by the Central Hardin defense collapsing on him once he had gotten inside that zone.
Under 3.5 to go here first quarter. Barnes with the basketball for Central Hardin. Lewis is guarding him. Out front, Squires takes it. The lob it to Gordon. Gordon spins in the paint. Runner too strong. Rashid goes and gets the rebound. Ahead to Lewis. Back to Rashid. Now Lewis down to the corner. Thought about the three-pointer cut off. Back to Rashid. Lewis looking. Hands it back to King.
No one inside the paint for the Trojans right now.
Out front, Lewis will take it. As King squares up, three-pointer is good.
No one needs to be inside the paint if you're going to knock down the threes that way. Second three-pointer of the night for the Trojans.
16-4, biggest lead of the night for the Trojans. 2:43 remaining here in the first quarter. Squires right out by the 10-second line, gets the ball to Barnes. Barnes back to Squires. Over to Barnes. He'll square up for a three-pointer that is no good, but we get a whistle to foul underneath. It's going to be an offensive foul on Central Hardin.
I believe that's going to be on Dylan Glenn, the forward for the Bruins.
Will be his first, the team's second.
Nope, sorry, they're going to say that's on T.J. Gordon. His second, team second as
Central
well.
Hardin is number 35, Alex Crowder.
Crowder back into the ball game for the Bruins.
And the defensive intensity, for the Trojans so far has been very high, which we haven't seen in the first half of most of their games this year.
Out front, Lewis gets the ball to King, who made the three a moment ago. Lewis at the top of the key. Back to King. Gets it over. Lewis inside, scoops up the shot. Can't get it to go. Rebounds to Ruski. Tries. Block. Central Hardin comes down with it.
And even though he missed that shot, you're taking almost a layup or a 4-foot jumper. Is a good job by penetration that time by Nick Lewis.
Here's Kerr driving to the basket. Up and in.
And Kerr, not exactly who you expect to score points for the Bruins. Gets in there off the dribble. Now King comes back with the 18-footer on its way. No good. Barnes with the rebound.
He'll hand it off to Squires. And Central will bring it up the floor. A minute 43 remaining here in the first quarter. Bruins down 10. Kerr working. Will hand the ball off to Squires. King guarding him. Squires tries to go inside. Ball gets knocked away on the floor. Scramble. Central comes up with it. Barnes lost the handle. Glenn goes to the floor. Back to Crowder. Squares up with a three-pointer on the way that is no good. Glenn gets the rebound. We get a whistle and a foul underneath.
I believe that's going to be on Nick Lewis.
That'll be his
Fouls
first.
on Dylan Glenn.
Nope, they're going to say, wow. I've got to stop thinking what I think the call is on. I anticipate who it's on, and they have called back-to-back offensive rebounding fouls on the Bruins. So the Trojans retain possession 16-6 here. 1:23 to go here in this first quarter of the game.
Jeremiah Draper, number 41, checks in, the 6'2 sophomore.
For a moment there were 6 Trojans on the court. Khalil Rashid going to come out and take a seat.
Gosa will bring the ball up the floor with a minute 18 remaining here in the quarter. North scored the first 9 and have never looked back. King at the free throw line to Lewis. Now they'll lob it to Draper. Back out front. Malik Thomas, number 10 in the ball game for the first time for North. Now Lewis takes it. Draper out front to Thomas. Lobs it into King in the paint. Kicks it back to Lewis. Lewis, nice look intended for King. Pass is picked off. And now Central brings it up the floor. 47 seconds remaining in the quarter. Crowder drives on Thomas, goes baseline, reverse layup, no good. Thomas had it knocked away. Crowder gets it back, and we'll get a reach-in foul on North Hardin.
And you see Crowder, even after missing the shot, staying with it, getting back into it, gets the steal, and then is fouled. That foul on Malik Thomas will send Crowder to the line to shoot 2.
So Crowder heads to the line, has 2 points in the ball game. Had the first points for Central after North bolted out to the 9-0 lead. Crowder in and out on the first free throw attempt, another one upcoming.
And even tonight, we've seen J.D. Draper, who's come in, Jeremiah Draper, we've seen him in some games. I haven't seen Malik Thomas play very much this year. And Coach Bevers, I like the substitutions he's making in that he's keeping the defensive intensity up on this Central Hardin team.
Able to go to the bench maybe a little more. Of course, 10-point leads widen that bench considerably as Crowder knocks down the second free throw. Gosa across the time stripe. Here's pulling up with a three-pointer, back of the rim, no good. Crowder gets the rebound and will hand it off to Kerr.
Not sure that's the shot that Coach Bevers was looking for with 30 seconds to go in this first quarter of play.
Kerr being guarded by Gosa. Squires takes it. Squires brings it back out with 15 seconds remaining. Right up against the time stripe at 10 seconds. Squires directs traffic. Now goes to his left. Crowder out front with 4 seconds. Back to Squires at 2. He'll push up a three-pointer at the buzzer and banks it in.
Squires' first three of the night, first points of the night, knocks it down as the buzzer goes off, and that cuts the lead to 6 points, 16-10. North Hardin on top after 1.
Thanks to the sponsors making possible coverage of this ball game. Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, E-Town Exterminating, Bluegrass Cellular, E-TownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction, and by West Point Bank. Leading scorer in the ball game is Ruben Gosa. He has 7 points to pace North Hardin. Across the way, it is Crowder and Squires each with 3. Squires with that late three banker pulls it back to 16-10.
Recognize the regional champion, North Hardin's Kavika Glover.
As a 9-0 start gives the Trojans the early lead, and they've been able to withstand the early foul troubles on Tyler Landry.
Yeah, they have. They've done a good job, I think, in the pace of play that the Trojans want to have, getting the ball up and down the court as fast as they are. Now, they haven't knocked down all of those inside shots, but the defensive intensity and the pace of play has been outstanding for the Trojans so far in this game as far as pushing the pace. Central Hardin only a couple times really getting into their offense, but they've got 4 of their 10 points have been off the dribble, 1 by Andy Kerr and then 1 by Crowder as well. So their ability to get inside is still there, and they do it off the dribble by spreading out the man-to-man and then using some quickness to get past the defender and get in for the layup.
After North bolted out to a 16-4 lead, Central has scored the last 6 to cut the deficit in half. It'll be North's basketball as we begin the second quarter at Ron Bevers Gymnasium. North win tonight, they would clinch the number 2 seed. As Gosa pulls up with a jumper that is short. Glenn had a hand on it, got it back, had it knocked out of his hands, and it'll stay with North Hardin.
I mean, talk about the seeding. It's not the 2 seed you want. It's not the 3 seed. You don't want the 4 seed. You don't want to have to play the John Hardin Bulldogs in that second round of play.
And again, this could be a prelude to the semifinals, the 2-3 matchup. We'll talk more about that as we go along this evening. Again, Central Hardin, if they were to win this game, would need a win against Fort Knox as the ball gets knocked out of bounds. Then they would secure the number 2 seed. And still sitting out there is Elizabethtown right now, 2-3. Actually, they are 2-3 in district play, I believe. Still with games remaining against Fort Knox and 2 against John Hardin. As Lewis squares up a three-pointer.
And if they're able to continue to knock down this three-pointer, it stretches the opposing defense out, and looks like we're going to pick up a foul on the Sheed.
So the Sheed will pick up his first foul. That'll be the team 5th.
Dylan Glenn to the line.
And Dylan Glenn will head to the line to shoot 2 free throws, has 2 points in the ball game.
And now that's 3 3-pointers for the Trojans early in this game. And that's what they need to have consistently through the game. Have a couple of 3-pointers each quarter. It really spreads that defense out and allows them that inside penetration. Glenn misses the first of the free throws.
6'3" junior gets another shot at it, knocks it down. Had 2 points in the first game between these two teams back on January 2nd. Now an 8-point lead in favor of North. 1 minute into the second quarter. Ball tipped in the air. Crowder comes down with it. Crowder tries to throw it up and draws the foul.
And that's a good job by Troy Squires that time, keeping his hands up, tips it away, and then Crowder gets it.
Gosa will pick up the foul. That'll be his first, the team 6. And North Hardin brings Tyler Landry back into the ball game at the 6:54 mark with those 2 fouls. Crowder kicks it back. Glenn, free throw line jumper on the way is good.
I'm surprised they don't take it inside, as Glenn now has 5 points on the night, but take it inside right at Tyler Landry. Try to pick up that 3rd foul.
6-point ball game in favor of North. Trojans with the basketball. Lewis Starewski has the ball knocked away. Squires tries to rescue it. knocks it back, but out of bounds, and it comes back to the North Hardin Trojans.
And a couple times tonight, look, Nick Lewis trying to make that no-look pass has had one of them picked off, and that one there was tipped away.
Inbounds. As Gosa holds it up. Crowder goes to the floor. We get a whistle, and Crowder shake it up. So we talk about the district scenarios again. A North loss tonight drops there, or a Central loss would drop them to 4-4 in the district. North would be 5-3. Central holds the 3 seed and would hold the tiebreaker over Elizabethtown. The only way Elizabethtown could overcome Central is, again, win out, but that includes 2 wins against John Hardin, the first game tomorrow night, and then the second game next Monday night we'll have for you on HCEC-TV and Channel 1.
And Elizabethtown matches up well with the John Hardin team. I just don't think they have the depth that John Hardin has and the intensity that John Hardin brings the entire game.
And the ball tipped away. Squires comes up with it. As Squires drives the basket, gets the nice roll for his 5th point of the ball game. And Central back to within 4. Coming down to 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Lewis lobs it to Landry, draws a triple team, ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with North Hardin. But if you're John Hardin, bring up the scenario, who do you want to see? Theoretically, you get the 4-5 winner. So who do you want to see in that semifinal?
Well, I don't think it really matters right now. I think John Hardin is playing pretty good basketball. I would like to see what the injury to Davion Green that he suffered here last week against North Hardin. But that team has got everything going, and they're so deep in their abilities as we have a foul on Glenn. Glenn, I believe that's going to be his 2nd foul. But they have John Hardin just plays so well, and their pressure defense is able to create so many turnovers, and they get so many points from that.
Well, we saw how John responded when they didn't have Brandon Price for those 2 weeks. Now we get to see how they respond. Price back in the fold, but without Green. As the lob into Landry has it knocked away.
And I promise you that Ron Bevers has told Landry, do not bring the ball down. 6'7", got to be able to keep it up there.
High arching shot up over Landry doesn't go, and now North running the other way. Gets it ahead to Gosa. He'll square up a 3-pointer that is an air ball. Rebound, King able to run it down. Now lobs it ahead to Starewski, draws it up, can't get the shot to go. Tipped out of bounds. It'll go to Central Hardin.
And Central Hardin's defense now getting back, putting a hand in the face. That time it looked like Gosa rushed the shot a little bit and was no good, and then Starewski knocks it out of bounds.
Central amps up the full court pressure here as they lob it ahead to Barnes. Back to Squires with 5:17 remaining here in the first half. Central Hardin with the basketball down 4. Barnes gives it to Crowder, gets to the basket, nice step, puts it up and in.
And a good job by Crowder now with 5 points here in this first half of play, and the lead cut to 2 as we're under the 5-minute mark to go here in the first half of play.
Central hasn't been this close since 2-0. Ball tipped in the air, rescued back in, not in time, so it'll go back to North Hardin.
And North Hardin getting a little bit, it's either the passes are too hard, they're going through the hands, or they're almost lazy, and Central Hardin able to tap it away.
Back out front, Gosa to Lewis. Back out front, Ruben Gosa to Tyron King. Here is a whistle and a foul on Kerr. That'll be his first, 5th, but we remember we saw this in the first game back in January 2nd. North bolted out to an early lead. Central fought their way back, chipped their way back in the ball game, much as they've done here in the second quarter tonight.
And we were talking off camera earlier today, and the scrappiness that is Central Hardin and how they just continue to come at you. And even when you think you've got them down, they continue to play the same game. They hustle, they keep tipping the ball away. It's not pretty, but it keeps them in the ball game.
And they've cut it down to a 2-point deficit. North with the basketball, 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Starewski gets inside. Landry can't get the putback to go, and they'll get an offensive foul on Scotty Starewski. And that's 2 on Starewski now. And we'll go down to the other end to shoot free throws.
I think Squires will be the one going to the line. And Squires will be going to the line to shoot 1 in the bonus.
About to get a substitution in for North Hardin. as Thomas will come in for Staruski. Troy Squires with 5 points in the ball game. Makes his first visit to the line. Also into the ball game for the first time for Central Hardin is Matt Whitehouse. Number 34, a 6'4 junior. Squires misses the free throw, but Crowder goes and gets the long rebound. Squires a 3 for the lead. Central Hardin up 20-19.
Squires with his second three-pointer of the game. The ball is tipped away. They will reset. 4:15 to go, and Central Hardin takes their first lead of the night.
On a 10-0 run since Lewis knocked down the 3 to start the quarter for North. In fact, that's the lone basket the Trojans have here as we're approaching the halfway mark of the second frame. Lewis back out front to Gosa. 2-3 zone now being employed by the Bruins. Here's Gosa, nice move to the inside, goes up over Whitehouse and will head to the line.
And that's what was helping them early in that first quarter, driving to the basket. They were able to use the quickness of Gosa. That time he gets inside and is going to pick up the foul, and now he will be going to the line to shoot 2 with 7 points on the night already.
First visit to the free throw line for Gosa. North missed their only attempt back in the first quarter from Landry. Gosa knocks this one down to tie the game. North led, go ahead.
I was going to say, for North Hardin, they've got to continue to get that inside presence. I think Landry being in there sucks some of the defense in there, and it allows others to get in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw an alley-oop before too long, as Landry's been getting very good position as Gosa misses the second of his 2 free throws.
First tie of the ball game is at 20. Kerr drives right down the lane, goes to the floor and travels. So we'll come back to North Hardin on the turnover. As we'll get a substitution, Khalil Rashid will come back in. Malik Thomas will sit down. Rashid joins Tyler Landry, Nick Lewis, Tyron King, Ruben Gosa for North Hardin. Central Hardin has Troy Squires, Andy Kerr, Matt Whitehouse, Cody Elmore, and Alex Crowder. 3:39 remaining until halftime. Pass picked off by Squires. Squires drives on King. Little reverse layup doesn't go. Staruski or Gosa comes down with a rebound. Gosa driving, pulls up, 10-footer on the way, got it.
And Gosa, when he's in the rhythm, we've seen it already in all the shots that he hits, he just gets to the basket, makes things happen. That time pulling up, knocking down the 10-footer.
10 now for Gosa in the ball game, gives North back the lead as Crowder tries a little reverse layup. We get a whistle to the foul.
Fouls on Ruben Gosa.
And Gosa will pick up his second foul.
And now 3 Trojans with 2 fouls. Tyler Landry with 2, Scotty Staruski, and Ruben Gosa. And now Crowder will go to the line to shoot 2, 1 of 2 on the night.
That's 5 points in the ball game. 3:13 remaining here in quarter number 2. First free throw in and out.
And from behind, Cody Elmore knocks it away. Back to Squires, takes the deep three-pointer, and good. His third three-pointer of the night.
Gives Central back the lead at 23-22. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. Rashid with a foul on Kerr.
Kerr, his second foul, and we'll send Rashid to the line to shoot 1 in the bonus. Squires now with 11 points, 3 three-pointers and then 1 two-pointer. But that one there from at least 22, 23 feet. A deep 3 for Squires.
Rashid will head to the line. The 6'3 junior has not scored in the ball game, making his first trip to the line. Back of the rim, no good, and the rebound comes down to Central Hardin. Another long three-pointer, good.
If you're not good at guarding, he will take it. That one was from deeper than the other one, about 24, 25 feet.
Remember, this is how it played out in that game back on January 2nd. Squires got hot. All of a sudden, King will try to answer from three-point range. No good. We get a whistle and a foul underneath on North Hardin. I believe this is going to be on Lewis.
So now
Rashid picks up his second. So you've got Gosa with 2, Staruski with 2, Rashid with 2, Landry with 2. Jacob Barnes will check into the ball game for Andy Kerr. Crowder goes back to the line. He's 1 of 3 on the night. Central trailed at one point 16-4, but has stormed back and now has a 5-point lead.
And for Central, they've got into this 1-1 bonus at the 6:54 mark here in the second quarter. They've got to start knocking all of these free throws down that they're getting.
Second free throw by Crowder is good. And now the margin at 6 with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Lewis back out front to Gosa. They'll lob it down low to Landry. Draws the double team, goes in the paint, tries to put up the shot, and he'll head to the line.
I believe that's going to be on Whitehouse. It is going to be his second of the game.
So now you've got Kerr, Glenn, Gordon, and Whitehouse each with 2 fouls for Central Hardin. Landry heads to the free throw line, knocks down the free throw for his 5th point of the night.
Number 30, Scotty Starewski.
Starewski back in the ball game for the Trojans.
And North Hardin with this 2-3 zone has had some trouble that Central Hardin's putting up against them, getting the ball back inside and getting the pace of play that they would like, as they've only scored. That now makes it 8 points here in this quarter, where they had 16 points in that first quarter.
28-24 the score, 4-point edge for Central. Squires, Elmore, back out front to Squires, ahead to Barnes. Squires had to go get that one as North really ranging their defense. Crowder pulls up top of the key, shot doesn't go. Fight for the rebound, knocked away. Lewis tries to rescue it, but it's going to be in the backcourt of the hands of Squires. Here's the ball kicked away, picked up by Crowder. Crowder drives, goes up, forces up the shot, and will get a blocking foul.
Not sure who this one's going to be on. Whoever it is,
Believe it's
the third.
Gosa. It didn't matter. It was Gosa or Landry in the vicinity, so one of them was going to get 3, and it's Gosa picking up his 3rd.
Alex Crowder to the line.
And
now Crowder goes to the line. Crowder 3 of 5 on the night.
7 points in the ball game. Steps up with a minute 47 remaining here in the quarter. Knocks down the first free throw.
Into the game for North Hardin is number 10, Malik Thomas.
Malik Thomas will check back into the ball game.
And North that time switching to a 1-3-1 zone and really got a shot they wanted. They want Crowder to take that 18-footer, unable to really get that rebound, come back down. And that time, Crowder takes it inside, picks up the foul, knocks down both the free throws. Now the score 30-24, minute 43 to go here in the second quarter of play.
In the front court is North Hardin. Starewski tries to split the defenders. High banker doesn't go. Landry gets his own miss. Goes back up off the glass. Front of the rim rolls through. And Whitehouse collects the rebound. The iron right now for Get Unkind. It's outright rude. Crowder kicks it out. Squires thought about the three-pointer. Landry cuts him off. Squires goes inside, banks it off the glass and in.
And Squires now with 16 points here in the first half of play, 3 in the first quarter and 13 here in the second quarter.
Biggest lead of the night now for Central as the ball gets tipped away. Squires with it, goes to the floor, is hits hard, fouled by Lewis. That'll be 3 on, or that'll be the first foul on Nick Lewis.
And Squires is down and has not gotten up yet.
That'll be his first. Squires now just getting back to his feet. But will head to the line. He missed his only free throw attempt of the ball game.
And Squires will stay in the game.
16 points for Squires. Will head to the line to attempt 2 free throws here.
Missed his first free throw attempt of the game.
Squires, remember, banked in that 3 to end the quarter. Steps up for the first free throw, knocks it down.
And we talked about this before the game. Squires or Crowder, both of them having very good games here in the first half of play.
Another attempt upcoming. This one no good. Landry goes and gets the rebound. 1 minute remaining here in the first half of play. Talk about a difference of halves. A turnover by North. Central will get it back up 9.
And Central Hardin just playing very good, solid defense. They switched up that time, picked up more of a man-to-man type of defense, and created the turnover as King carried the ball.
Barnes will hand it off to Squires in the front court with 48 seconds remaining. Central now up 33-24. Lobs it ahead, pushes up, no good. Crowder pushed that one back up. King into the front court for North Hardin. At the free throw line, Staruski over to Lewis. He'll score up. A three on the way, no good. Rebound Barnes for Central Hardin. Will hand it off to Squires with 24 seconds remaining.
I believe J.C. Wright wants them to just take the last shot of this quarter. Under 20 seconds to go.
North is going to trap, though. They give the ball to Whitehouse, has it knocked away, kicks it back to Barnes with 10 seconds. Down to the corner, Elmore. Back to Barnes at 7 seconds. Here's Squires. Down to the corner, Elmore squares. A three-pointer is no good, but a foul, or 3-second violation. They'll give it back to North Hardin with 3 seconds left.
Matt Whitehouse, picks up his third foul down low.
That'll be his third.
And that is a player control foul, only 3 seconds to go.
Now the officials will confer. Was it a player control? Evidently not, because they will now go to the line and shoot free throws. So North will get a chance with 3 seconds left to add a couple of points before halftime. The conversation now goes the other way. You can see Coach Ron Bevers walking the official down the floor, lobbying for that free throw.
It's fun to watch Coach Bevers. And Coach Bevers giving it, and now the head official has come over and is telling him what the call is and telling him, that's it, Coach, have a seat. 3 seconds to go here in the first half of play. A 9-point lead from Central Hardin.
Here's King with it. 3 seconds, 2, launches one from midcourt. That is no good. The first half is in the books, and Central Hardin rallies from a 12-point first half deficit and will take a 9-point lead into the locker room at 33-24. Thanks to the sponsors making possible coverage of this ball game on Channel 1 at HCEC-TV, that being Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, E-Town Exterminating, Bluegrass Cellular, eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction, and West Point Bank. Hardin County Educational and Community Television is a division of Hardin County Schools that's also seen on Comcast Cable Channel 2 at Elizabethtown, Vine Grove, and Hardin County, and Insight Cable Channel 25 in Radcliffe. Our coverage of this Boys 17th District High School basketball game continues in just a few minutes.
County Educational and Community Television Student Production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming is sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs.
There are certain things that we are glad are only found halfway across the world, like lions, sandstorms, and volcanoes. Customer service, though, it's nice to have that close to home. Brandenburg Telephone Company and Brandenburg Telecom. We connect you to the world, all at the speed of local. You're local. We figure we should be local, too.
At Physical Therapy Associates, we treat a wide variety of injuries and disorders. Our specialties include orthopedics, back and neck pain, pre- and post-operative rehabilitation, sports medicine, work-related injuries, motor vehicle injuries, and diabetic neuropathy treatment. We also use kinesiotaping techniques and are a certified A-STEM provider. PTA is locally owned and operated by Guy Wallace with offices in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Hodgenville, Bardstown, and South Louisville. You can also visit our website at physicaltherapyky.com. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results.
At West Point Bank, we're proud to serve the community that you call home because we call it home too. We strive to provide excellent customer service, competitive products, and contribute to our community.
We are honored to contribute to Hardin County Schools and support its students because they are the future of our community. To our high school sports teams, good luck and best wishes for a successful season.
Hardin County, join us in supporting our students. We wish them the greatest success.
Imagine luxury living, great prices, and a convenient location. Are you thinking that no rental property can meet all those needs? I'm Karen Harris, and you can find all those qualities and more at etownapartments.com. We are family owned and operated with over 30 years combined experience. We offer luxury townhomes, apartments, duplexes, and single-family homes that are just minutes away from your workplace, school, shopping, and Fort Knox. You'll save gas, time, and money by taking a virtual tour at etownapartments.com. Or you can call me today to schedule your tour at 270-268-RENT.
There's a place that feels more connected, where life is more agreeable, more reliable, and more delightful every day. Where there's a blissful feeling of satisfaction with your wireless phone, your plan, and most of all, your service. It's the state of Bluephoria, and you can only get there by way of Bluegrass Cellular. Welcome to Bluephoria.
E-Town Exterminating, 737-6900. Also online at mugabug.com. On behalf of HCEC-TV, we would like to thank all of our sponsors.
Welcome back to Ron Devers Gymnasium on the campus of North Hardin High School. Along with Bobby Thompson, this is Lee Bramlett. Halftime score, Central Hardin leading North Hardin 33-24, the number 2 seed for the district tournament at stake in this ball game. Recap of the first half, North Hardin got out of the gates quickly, led it 9-0, then up as many as 12 at 16-4. Central closed it down. A late three by Squires made it 16-10 at the end of the quarter. Nick Lewis answered with a three for North to start the quarter. But then Central Hardin going on runs of 10-0 and 8-0, taking the lead. And they're enjoying their biggest lead of the night, which is 9, 33-24. Quick look at the first half scoring. First for Central Hardin, Troy Squires, much as he did in the first game between these two, having a big quarter. This time it was the second quarter, had 14 of his 17 points in the quarter. Again, Squires with 17, Alex Crowder with 9. It's 5 in the ball game to Dylan Glenn and 2 points to Andy Kerr. Across the way for North Hardin, led by Ruben Gosa, who has 10 points at halftime. It's 6 points to Tyler Landry, 3 points to Nick Lewis, 3 points to Tyron King, and 2 points to Scotty Staruski. Bobby Thompson, really a tale of 2 quarters. North looked so strong in the first quarter, but then Central Hardin just kicked it up in the second.
Yeah, when we really look at the last minute or so of that first quarter, North Hardin was up 16-4, and then Central Hardin comes back, scores the last 6 points of the quarter. The last second, they hit that three by Squires, and then in the second quarter, they outscore the Trojans 23-8. And you mentioned Troy Squires had 14 points in that quarter alone, but for Central Hardin, they just really got after it on the defensive end there in the second quarter and forced North Hardin to do things that North really didn't want to do. And then on the other end, Squires knocking down the outside shot, opened up some stuff. Alex Crowder was able to go inside. He picked up some fouls, goes to the line, knocks down 4 or 5 free throws. And so they were able to make some other things happen by Squires taking over, but Squires really 14 points by himself in that quarter, a one-man wrecking crew.
We have some second quarter stats here, and they're really telling in this ball game. North in that second quarter, 2 of 12, and remember, that's 1 of 11 after Lewis knocked down the three-pointer to start the quarter. They went 0 of 4 from three-point range from that point forward, 1 of 5 for the quarter. 8 turnovers in the second quarter, where Central Hardin only turned the ball over once. Central Hardin 7 of 11 in that second quarter, and in more impressive stat, they were 3 of 3 from three-point range.
They were. They did everything right in that quarter, and the stats do not lie. A very good shooting percentage from the field, obviously 3 of 3 from the three-point line, 6 of 10 from the line, whereas North Hardin only 2 of 12 in that quarter. And Lewis knocks down one, and then Gosa knocked down about a 5 or 6 footer. But North Hardin really couldn't get on track. The 2-3 zone really got North Hardin out of their game. I thought they should have taken the ball inside to Tyler Landry a whole lot more. He missed some shots, but they really didn't get him the ball quite that much in the second quarter.
Central Hardin basketball to begin the second frame. Much as we saw in the first game, though, where Central got the lead, North stormed back in the fourth quarter and took control of that game late. And you have to think Central's going to have to weather a storm some point here in this next 16 minutes as Landry goes in and gets the steal.
And Landry using his long arms to reach around and get the tip, and then went and got the basketball. Rashid with the three-pointer, no good. Landry inside, the big rebound, doesn't make it, puts it back up, fouled on the return, and that's something where I'm surprised he just didn't go up and dunk the basketball. Don't let these little guys get around you, tip the ball away. Just go up strong and dunk the ball. That foul on Crowder, his first, and will send Landry to the line to shoot 2.
Landry in the first half, 2 of 3 from the line, misses that one.
And that time Landry did a very good job of positioning himself down low as Rashid was taking the outside shot, in good position for that rebound and putback.
Knocks down the second free throw for his 7th point. Draws North to within 8, 33-25. Squires had the big second quarter. Brings the ball up the court, gets around King, goes up against Landry, has it knocked out of his hands, and now North on the run the other way. Staruski dishes off to Gosa, kicks it back out front. King with it. King, little runner off the glass, up and in.
And that's what they did. They got set up and they got into that offense where they're just running at the basket before Central Hardin could really set up a good defense. Kerr with trouble outside, and quickly J.C. Wright calls a timeout before the turnover.
So a timeout by the Bruins, a 30-second timeout with 7:10 remaining here in the third quarter of play. The 9-point lead has gone down to 6. And we talk about what's at stake in this ball game again. Central Hardin, if this result holds up, they beat Fort Knox in what will be their next game in about 24 hours. They will get the number 2 seed. North Hardin, they rally, they win. 5-3 gets them the number 2 seed.
I love the 17th district. We always have got something going on, and a lot of times, more than not, it ends up being two 17th district teams that are fighting it out for the 5th region title.
The inbounds comes into Kerr. And, of course, still the other factor, John Hardin, of course, clinching the #1 seed last week with that win over Fort Knox. Squires thought about the three, gets inside, dishes down low to Glenn, who puts it up and in.
And that's what scoring 14 points in a quarter will do. He draws a lot of attention, does Squires. That time able to drop it off, in the first field goal of the 3rd quarter goes to Dylan Glenn.
Back to an 8-point advantage. Gosa squares up, three doesn't go. Tipped up in the air. Landry at 6'6", off the glass and in.
And Landry now with 3 points in this quarter, 9 points in the ball game, using the size down low, get it and going back to the hole strong.
35-29, 6.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. As we said, John clinched the #1 seed. #2 is on the line here tonight. 3-point attempt all the way by Squires, doesn't go. Glenn tries to rescue it right into the hands of Dylan Landry, or Tyler Landry. North on the run the other way. Gosa puts it up and in.
And that's exactly what North Hardin has to do, as Gosa now has 12 points on the night. Getting the ball, getting the transition points, getting it down the court, beating the Central Hardin Bruins down to the other end of the court.
North to within 4. Crowder spins, scoops up the shot up and in.
That was as good as you're going to see right there. Tyler Landry made him adjust his shot. You just have to tip your hat to him. And a very good shot by Crowder, who now has 11 points on the night.
Rashid has the ball knocked away, and it's picked up by Squires. Squires across the time stripe. Central with the basketball up 6. Crowder being pushed every step of the way. He'll just launch up a shot with no place to go. Staruski will watch it go out of bounds, and North will get it back.
Into the game for North Hardin.
And in this quarter, the pressure defense has been coming from this North Hardin team, as they've caused turnovers from the Central Hardin Bruins and been able to turn those into points. And now they've scored 7 points in this quarter to only 4 points by the Bruins.
Into the front court, Lewis with it for North Hardin. Gosa will bring it back to King. King back to Gosa. He'll go on the drive. Pulls up, baseline runner, doesn't go. Rebound comes out of Cody Elmore. Now Central trying to push the issue. Crowder up over Landry, little scoop shot doesn't go. Lewis gets the rebound. Lewis running the other way, 1-on-4. Puts it up off the glass and up and in and draws the foul.
And for Lewis now, his 5th point, going to the line to shoot once more, but a very good job that time. It was basically a 1-on-3 break. He takes it to the hole. He goes up with his left hand, draws the foul, and puts it in, and cuts the lead to 4 with the opportunity to cut it to, well, they're going to.
No basket has been counted.
They're going to wipe the basket off. They're going to say it was before the shot, so wipe off the points. That would make it 37-31, under 5 minutes remaining. Now here's King with a runner. Put it back on the board
with the assist
to make it 37-33.
Central Hardin, full timeout.
Central Hardin will take a full timeout with 4:49 remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
The clock says 35-32, as if they counted the basket by Nick Lewis. I think the officials are now going to discuss it.
They wiped off the basket, which would have made it set it back to 31-37.
The only thing I think was somebody else got fouled. The basket went in, and it was after the basket went in and somebody else was fouled.
And now the officials, this could be a huge sequence here.
And that foul was on Dylan Glenn.
If the basket counts,
then it was a 4-point trip.
And I don't see the officials turning to wipe off the basket. So the points apparently will stand.
Lewis.
So give Lewis back his points. He just doesn't get the free throw. And with that, North Hardin has cut it back to a 2-point game at 37-35. Into the front court, Kerr with it. Over to Glenn, who will try a three-pointer that is no good. Landry with a rebound. North with a chance to tie or take the lead. Lewis with it, down in the corner. Gosa, cross-court pass for King. King inside, nice move. 10-footer on the way, too strong. Rebound fought for, and we'll get an offensive foul on North Hardin.
I believe that's going to be on King, his first.
Team first against the Trojans.
Team's first.
Jacob Barnes, TJ Gordon will come into the ball game for Central Hardin.
Jacob Barnes and number 23, Thomas Gordon.
Central basketball to bring the length of the floor, and North picking up full court. 4:22 remaining here in the third.
And for North, I think that they got to keep Tyler Landry in the game. So many good things happen when he is in the basketball game for the Trojans.
And you notice the game got away from North when Landry picked up those 2 early fouls. Gordon back to Squires. Squires running, goes up over Landry, has the shot blocked.
And a block by Tyler Landry.
And while that was blocked by Landry, Landry has altered several shots tonight from the Central Hardin Bruins. Just his length on the inside has really caused them to change some shots and has resulted in some missed shots.
Inbounds Elmore for Central Hardin, gets it to Gordon. Gordon goes up, shot blocked by Landry again. Scramble, ball on the floor, still being fought for, will get a jump ball, and the alternating possession will favor North Hardin. And all of that
for the ball all over the place there.
And all of that caused again by the blocked shot by Tyler Landry. As Central trying to draw that foul. Landry, though, with the position, blocking a couple of shots. Chance for North to regain the lead as we move under 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
And Central staying in that 2-3 zone that worked in the first half for them.
King, Staruski, ball knocked to the floor. Another scramble. Gordon comes up with it. It's going to be tied up. And the jump ball will favor Central Hardin.
Possession to Central Hardin.
In that time, Staruski did almost, the ultimate sin that you can do for a big man when you get inside is put the ball on the floor, and these guards just swarm to it, that time able to tie it up.
Elmore will inbound the basketball to Barnes. Full court pressure by North Hardin. Barnes, a 10-second call will give it back to North Hardin.
Trojan basketball.
And again, the defensive pressure
for Central Hardin is number
from
12,
the North Hardin
Cole.
Trojans. It's constant. You almost forget about it to an extent. It looked like Barnes forgot the internal clock, so to speak, and able to get that ball up and across the time stripe.
3.5 minutes remaining here in the third. North another possession, chance to tie or take the lead. They get it to Landry underneath, off the glass and in, and will head to the line.
The basket has been counted.
And that is going to be a foul on
Fouls on
Landry.
Tyler Landry. That's his third. Team
Landry
second.
picks up his third.
Team second here in the second half.
No basket on the player control foul.
And I can see both sides of that. It looked like Crowder was underneath the basket, not really in good position.
Well, it's always the toughest call in the books. Is it a charge? Is it a block? Crowder with a basketball for Central, and now we'll get a block on Staruski. He picks up his third.
And now for the Trojans, Ruben Gosa has 3, Scotty Staruski with 3, and Tyler Landry with 3. And they cannot afford to get those players into that foul trouble. On the Central Hardin side, Dylan Glenn has 3, and Matt Whitehouse with 3 fouls.
Remember, North, that's where North got in trouble when those players started getting the fouls, as Crowder pulls over the jumper, no good, tipped up, will get an offensive foul, I believe, on Central Hardin. And this will be on
TJ Gordon going to pick up his 3rd foul.
But again, the players, Glenn, Gordon, and Whitehouse with those 3 fouls, where it is the 3 starters for North in foul trouble. As we head to 3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Another chance for North to tie or take the lead. Here is the bounce pass out to Lewis. Lewis, started by Squires. And we'll get a reach-in foul on Squires, which will be his first.
Fouls on Troy Squires. That's his first, team's 4th.
And the team's 4th foul here. And after we had a whole lot of scoring going on, we've had almost no scoring going on for the last couple of minutes as the score remains 37-35.
Under 3 minutes remaining here in the third. North with the basketball, looking to tie it or take the lead. Gosa drives on Elmore, goes the baseline, fires it out to Lewis. Lewis back out front. King steps inside, finds Landry underneath, up and in.
Excellent job by Tyron King. Recognizing that he had drawn the defenders, TJ Gordon came up to take and he just dumped it down to Landry. Landry puts it up for 2.
11 for Landry, ties the ball game at 37. We get a foul on North Hardin. I believe that's going to be Lewis guilty of the foul.
Fouls on Nick Lewis. That's his second.
That'll be his second.
Score. Into the game for Central Hardin is
Glenn will check into the ball game for the Bruins.
And Glenn checks back in with his 3 fouls for the Bruins.
Second tie of the ball game at 37. Central to inbound the basketball. Elmore brings it into Crowder. Here's Glenn, goes up over Landry, shot blocked, but Glenn gets it back. Out front to Squires. Lewis with him. Lewis tries to give and go, ball batted around, and it'll go to North Hardin.
And the pressure defense, Nick Lewis did a very good job that time in covering Troy Squires. Squires thought he had somebody down low, but it wasn't there. Throws it out of bounds.
Into the front court. North looking for the lead on this possession. King with it. Out front, King back to Gosa. Under 2 minutes remaining now here in the third. North has erased the 9-point deficit. Gosa with the basketball. Now back to Lewis. Lewis drives down the lane. High arching shot, but draws the foul.
And Lewis will be going to the line to shoot 2.
Fouls on Alex Crowder.
Crowder picks up the foul. That'll be his second. The team fifth.
Lewis to the line, shooting 2.
So Lewis will get the free throw attempt upcoming here. Trying to give North back the lead. And does. Lewis with his 6th point of the night. 38-37. And Lewis trying to extend the lead for the Trojans.
And against that 2-3 zone, North Hardin has had their most success when they're able to take it inside the zone. That time penetrating was Nick Lewis and picking up the foul, but they've had other times where they can penetrate and drop it off.
A minute 37 left to go here in the third quarter. North with their first lead since 22-20. Back in the second quarter. Squires with it, had the big second quarter. Quiet here down the lane. Glenn lost the handle. Squires gets it back. Elmore will try a 3 from the corner and drain it.
And the first 3-pointer of the second half. And as the ball gets away, Jacob Barnes will be able to come back in. The first points of the night for Cody Elmore.
A 3-pointer gives Central back the lead at 40-39. 1:17 remaining here in the third. Gosa angles to the left. Now brings it back to King out front. They'll go to Staruski at the free throw line. Runner inside, up and in.
And Staruski's first 2 points since the first quarter of play, now giving him 4 on the night. And gives the Trojans back the lead, 41-40.
Under a minute remaining here in the quarter. Squires out front, down to the corner. Crowder drives on Staruski, tries to bank it up. Shot blocked, Staruski on the run. North has it, 3 on nobody. And up and in is Gosa.
And Gosa quickly to the hole and puts it in, and that's, again, North Hardin. They create the block by King that time and then quickly get the ball up court and beat all of the Bruins back as Gosa knocks in the layup.
43-40. Here's Kerr with it. Gets the ball to Barnes. Glenn looking, hands it back to Crowder. Crowder, ball goes to the floor. And we'll get a foul, I believe, on Staruski.
Fouls on Scotty Staruski, that's his 4th.
And that'll be his 4th.
Into the game for Central Hardin is number 21, Cody Elmore.
Cody Elmore checks in for Central. Khalil Rashid into the ball game.
North Hardin is number 33, Khalil Rashid.
And Rashid is a player that could take over a game, and really, we haven't seen him get inside very often. He has no points on the night. We've seen where he can put up double digits in a quarter before. He can knock it down from the outside. He has some inside ability, but tonight, really not taking care of his own business and getting it down low and making some good plays inside. Rashid's got to kind of step that up for the Trojans. J.D. Draper now going to come in the game.
Number 41, Jeremiah Draper.
Landry will sit down with 18 seconds left here in the quarter. Cody Elmore will inbound, brings it into Kerr. North now in man-to-man defense. Elmore with it, knocked down the 3 a moment ago. Squires out front, out at 10 seconds. Squires on the drive against Lewis. Ball knocked away. Lewis goes to the floor. We will get a jump ball. The alternating possession will favor North Hardin with 1 second remaining.
Jump ball, possession to North Hardin.
And North might have wanted that not to be a jump ball as they would have gotten it at the quarter. Now 1 second left. They've got to put it up pretty quickly.
Rashid will inbounds. Looking, they lob it in to King, who just hooks one up at the buzzer. That is no good. So North Hardin, after trailing by 9, has stormed back to take a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Thanks to the sponsors making possible coverage of this ball game: Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, E-Town Exterminating, Bluegrass Cellular, RetailApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction, and West Point Bank. The leading scorers in the ball game: Troy Squires did not score in that quarter, has 17 though to lead Central Hardin scoring in all scores in the ball game. It is Ruben Gosa with 14 points to lead the way for North Hardin. Trojans in that quarter outscoring Central 19-7.
And North Hardin did it with the defensive pressure, able to amp it up and then get into the pace of play that they like, getting up and down the court as quickly as they did and getting inside and getting those short runners. And then also they knocked down 3 or 4 free throws in that quarter as well.
So 8 minutes left to go in this one. Number 2 seed on the line.
Final quarter of the evening, Central Hardin basketball.
North Hardin wins. They will clinch the number 2 seed for the district tournament. Central Hardin wins, coupled with a win against Fort Knox, they would get the number 2 seed. Both Central and North hold tiebreakers over Elizabethtown.
As we come back to action, the Bruins will start this fourth quarter with the ball.
Down 3. Crowder gets it to Kerr, passes batted away. Elmore comes away with it. Out front, Crowder takes it. North stays in the man-to-man defense. Ball tipped in the air. Out of bounds will stay with Central Hardin.
And again, we've seen North Hardin more active in this game on the defensive side. A lot of tip balls, a lot of forced turnovers. They didn't in that second quarter. Tyler Landry wasn't in the game. They didn't force it, and they were outscored 23-8.
Elmore will lob it in to Squires. Back out front to Kerr. 7:40 left in regulation. Crowder takes the basketball, directs traffic. Crowder drives right down the lane past King, lays it up and in.
And a very good job. His 13th point of the night now for Alex Crowder, recognizing who was on him, able to get past King and get it up for the left-handed layup.
1-point ball game, North with the basketball. King to Lewis. Now Rashid, turnaround free throw line jumper, got it.
Rashid knocks it down, 7:10 to go here in the ball game, gives the Trojans a 3-point lead.
And that's Rashid's first points of the night. With 7 minutes left to go in this one, Elmore will fire a 3 from the corner. Looks short is, but Kerr gets the rebound. Squires thought about that 3-pointer. Now Kerr takes it. Kerr drives against Landry, shot knocked away, and it'll stay with Central Hardin.
And that time, Central Hardin did a better job after Elmore shot the ball, getting into rebounding position. The Trojans just stood around and gave the second opportunity to the Bruins.
And we'll get a whistle to a foul. If that's Gosa, that is his 4th. So you've got Staruski with 4, Gosa with 4. Landry has 3.
And almost the same thing that happened in the first half. It was 6:54 to go. It's 6:48 to go now, and the Bruins will be in the bonus from here out.
Dylan Glenn out front to Kerr, back to Glenn. Now Crowder comes out to take it. Crowder drives right down the lane again, lays it off the glass and in.
I almost think they've got to drop Tyler Landry back inside, as Crowder now with 15 points on the night, and all 4 of the Bruins' points here in the fourth quarter is able to get past King again.
Back to a 1-point edge. Here's Gosa going to try a 3-pointer, back of the rim. King should be able to rebound it. Ball actually gets knocked away. Crowder got in late to knock it off of a North player.
And Crowder did an excellent job coming up as King and Lewis it looked like they both thought the other one was going to get it. Crowder comes through, taps it away. It goes off of Lewis and out of bounds.
6:14 left in regulation. Score at the bottom of your screen. North is led by as many as 12 in this ball game. Central is led by as many as 9. Crowder will square up and try the 3-pointer that's short. Ball goes to the floor. still on the floor. Going to be tied up, and the alternating possession will go to North Hardin.
And Nick Lewis, I will say this, Nick Lewis seems like he's always in on those as he dives to the floor quickly, but has quick hands, gets in there, taps the ball away quite often, and now North Hardin gets it back, a 1-point lead as we're at the 5:58 mark here to go in the fourth quarter.
King will bring it up the floor for North Hardin. Hands the ball off to Lewis. Lewis, they're looking down low for Landry. 2-3 zone by the Bruins. Malik Thomas comes out to take the basketball. Crowder goes for the steal. King lobs it over to Lewis. Back out front. Thomas. Rashid. Free throw line. Thomas thought about the three. Cut off. Here's King driving to the inside. Lost the handle. They get a foul on Central Hardin.
That's going to be on Crowder. That'll be his third.
Crowder, that's his third, team 6.
Both teams will be shooting free throws with 5.5 minutes left to go in this one.
Crowder now with 3 fouls. Again, Ruben Gosa for the Trojans and Scotty Struski both with 4 fouls.
Turnaround free throw line jumper by Rashid doesn't go. Tipped up in the air. Out of bounds to Central Hardin.
Landry, I was getting ready to say Landry has 3 fouls. Was very fortunate there not to pick up his 4th as he was trying to go over the back of one of the Central Hardin players. And Coach Bevers now telling the Trojans come up and play full court defense.
The inbounds comes into Kerr. Thomas guarding him. 5:17 left to go in regulation. A 1-point lead for North Hardin. Glenn with the basketball, left side. Crowder with it. Crowder back to Glenn. Back out front, Squires takes it. Had the big second quarter. Quiet in the third. Squires, Kerr with it. Looking down low for Glenn. Glenn backs in, goes up against Landry. Ball knocked away and picked up by King. King running ahead to Lewis, who lays it up and in.
Very good transitional game tonight from these North Hardin Trojans. That time, ball tipped by Malik Thomas to King. He gets it out, makes a good entry pass, and Lewis didn't even have to put the ball on the floor, just goes straight up and gets the 2 points.
47-44, 3-point lead for North. Down low, here's Squires with it, lays it up off the glass and in.
Squires' first 2 points of this second half, and he's got to heat up if these Bruins are going to make a comeback. Now 1-point lead for the Trojans.
4:19 left to go in this one. North with the basketball in the lead. King to Lewis, and a timeout North Hardin.
Ron Bevers going to call that, try to set up something at the 4:14 mark here in the game. Again, a 1-point lead from these North Hardin Trojans. And in this quarter, North Hardin, I like their transition. They're getting up and down the court a little bit better for Central Hardin. They've outscored the Bruins, or outscored the Trojans 6-4. And Alex Crowder with 4 of those points, driving right past Tyron King and getting to the hole for an easy layup both times.
There you see the sponsors making possible coverage of this ball game on Channel 1 at HCEC-TV. First of 2 games coming up this week on Channel 1 at HCEC-TV. Coming up, we'll be back here at Ron Bevers Gymnasium on Friday night for girls basketball. North Hardin and John Hardin, the number 2 seed for the district tournament on the line there. After Elizabethtown locked up the number 1 here on Saturday night with a win over North, John Hardin will come in. But right now, this game here still very much up in the air. North Hardin led 16-4 late in the first quarter. Central stormed back, took the lead, had led by as many as 9, but then North fought back in the third quarter to gain the lead. And right now the margin at 1. North with the basketball, Landry with it. Out front to King. Down the lane, little runner too strong off the glass, gets his own miss. Lost the handle, off the bottom of the backboard. Staruski can't get it to go. And Elmore gets the rebound for Central.
And that's the type of shot that North Hardin's got to knock down. First, I thought King took a very good shot, but then not able to get it back in on after getting the offensive rebound.
Kerr with the basketball for Central Hardin. They were looking for the bounce pass intended for Crowder, and it'll come back to North Hardin.
And it's going to look like a turnover on Kerr, and actually, you know, Tyron King did an excellent job of cutting off Alex Crowder, who was trying to do a little backdoor cut, and the ball goes out of bounds because of it.
3:35 left to go in regulation. North back with the basketball in the 1-point lead. Central in the 2-3 zone. Lewis with it, right side. Back out front to King. King, free throw line, pushes up the jumper, got it.
King now with 9 points on the night. and starting to feel it as he's been going inside the last couple times, able to get inside on that 2-3 zone.
Back to a three-point edge with 3:10 remaining left in this one. North Hardin trying to secure the number 2 seed. Squires with a three-pointer that is short. Rebound comes down to Gosa. North on the run, 3-on-3. Here's Gosa in the lane. Pushes up the jumper. Won't count. No basket. We get a foul on Central Hardin.
It should go to the line to shoot.
Fouls on Andy Kerr. That's his third.
Kerr will pick up his third foul. And now Gosa will head to the line where he's 1 of 2 on the night.
Gosa with 14 points on the night, 1 of 2 from the line in this game.
2:58 remaining in this one. North with a three-point edge trying to extend the lead. And misses the free throw. Elmore goes and gets the rebound. Kerr will bring it up the floor for Central Hardin.
Should be a big possession for the Bruins. Down 3 points, 2:40 to go here in the ball game.
Here's Kerr driving right down, banks it up off the glass and in over Landry.
And Kerr now with his 4th point on the night, drives it in and goes up against the 6'6" Landry and able to put it up in and off the glass.
2.5 minutes left to go. North up by 1 with the basketball. King, Lewis, back to King. Tyron King directs traffic for the Trojans. In the paint, Staruski finds Landry all alone, up and in.
And an excellent job again of recognizing that was Staruski as he drew the defenders, drops it down low, and the now 13th point of the night for Tyler Landry.
Down to 2 minutes left to go in this ball game. 51-48. North up 3. Central with a basketball. Crowder with it. Crowder tries on King. Down the lane, forces up the shot, blocked by Landry. Crowder gets his own miss, goes back up, shot no good. Landry with a rebound, ball knocked out of his hands, and it'll go to North Hardin.
Crowder lucky he didn't get his 4th foul of the night as he went in there and grabbed the arm of Tyler Landry, but the ball goes out of bounds, and the Trojans will have it up 3 points, 1:45 to go here in this 4th quarter.
Central will take their 4th timeout of the ball game. They'll have 1 remaining. North Hardin has 4 timeouts left in this one. And a back and forth ball game that saw North race out to the early lead. Central answer the bell, take the lead, led by as many as 9 in this one. Then North making their push in the 3rd quarter to take a 3-point lead. And the lead literally has ping-ponged between 1 and 3 here in this quarter. Central has knocked it down to 1 on a couple of occasions. Had a chance, I think, to take the lead on a possession or 2. North with the basketball up 3 with 1:45 remaining. Both teams still in the bonus situation.
And really in this quarter, Alex Crowder has been able to get inside. This last time it was blocked, but he's been able to get inside. Andy Kerr was able to get inside, and then Troy Squire's shot was from inside. They're able to get inside against this man-to-man defense. They've got to continue to do it. But Tyler Landry has altered some shots and even blocked several shots here in this 4th quarter, forcing the Bruins into trying some other shots that I don't think quite are as open. For the Trojans, they have kept up the intensity on the offensive end, really getting inside on this 2-3 zone. This last trip, Staruski gets the ball at the free throw line. He turns, acts like he's going to shoot it, draws the defender, drops it down to Tyler Landry, who now has 13 points on the night.
And it looks like J.C. Wright is changing up his defenses here. They're going 1-3-1, it looks like, as they want to come out and challenge with 1:33 left. Again, North can afford to be in no hurry as they get it to King down low. Landry can't pull it in. Race for the basketball. Out of bounds, back to Central Hardin.
And that was the right play. They really did a good job. They set Tyron King just threw a bullet off of Landry's hands.
All right, you're Central Hardin. You've got 1:24 left. 3-point game. How long do you keep playing the ping pong game? At some point, you've got to try and find a basket as the ball almost gets knocked away from Squires. At what point, with 1:13 left, do you go for the tie here?
Well, what has worked this quarter has been Alex Crowder at the top of the key, one-on-one against Tyron King and getting to the hole. Where they've got it right now, but they've got 2 players back inside.
And here's Crowder, lobs it off to Glenn. 1 minute left in regulation. Here's Glenn, fall-away jumper that's no good, and the rebound comes down to North Hardin.
And that can't be the shot that Coach Wright was wanting. Now down 3, asking the defense to come out. Pretty soon they're going to have to start fouling.
45 seconds left to go. North can afford to hold the ball out now, knowing that Central needs to foul. And the pass knocked away. Picked up by Squires. Squires splits the defenders. Ball stripped away. Nice play by Lewis. And they'll say North basketball.
I guess it went back off of Squires. I didn't see it from where we were at, but the official immediately called it. Now Staruski to inbound it 32 seconds to go. Nick Lewis has the ball.
Now full court pressure. Here's King with a 2-on-1. King will back it out with 24 seconds. And now fouled by Elmore.
And that will send King to the line to shoot one in the bonus. King has not shot a free throw in tonight's ball game.
Has 9 points in the ball game. But more importantly, he can at least knock down the first one, make it a 2-possession ball game.
Fouls on Cody Elmore. That's his first, team's 8. Tyron King to the line.
King to the line. For one of the bonus, 22 seconds left in regulation.
And kind of the game that we thought would happen. You know, we see one team come out, put up a lead, another team fights back, and then they start just clawing out. And now Elmore comes down with the rebound, 20 seconds to go. Down 3. I'd get the ball to Troy Squires.
Yeah, they've got to think 3 now, down to 15 seconds. Squires being pressured every step of the way. Kerr kicks it back to Glenn. Squires down to 7 seconds. Glenn with it, and a timeout going to be taken by Central Hardin with 5 seconds remaining.
And it was almost like Central Hardin, nobody wanted to take the shot. When Squires got the ball, he looks better going to his right to shoot, and he kept coming back to his left.
I think the problem also, they want to get the ball to Squires. There's just one small problem. Nick Lewis is right there every time he gets the ball.
And Nick Lewis has pestered Troy Squires most of the evening since they've gone to that man-to-man. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Wright draws up here for the for the Bruins.
51-48 with 5 seconds left to go in the ball game. Central Hardin and North Hardin Trojans up 3, trying to hang on to get the number 2 seed in the district. A loss tonight, Central Hardin would drop to 3 and 4 in the district. They play Fort Knox in about 24 hours. Presumably that will put them 4 and 4. The X factor in all of this is what happens with Elizabethtown sitting at 2 and 3 in the district. 1 game outstanding with Fort Knox and 2 to go against John Hardin.
And that's going to be a big if there for Central Hardin. You know,
here's the thing. Think about this. Central wins that game. Splits goes 4 and 4. E-Town runs the table. Despite Central beating them twice a year, E-Town would get the 3 seed.
Yes, they would. And that, again, you don't want to be the 4 seed because that game that you're going to have to play in that second round 17th district game is going to be against the John Hardin Bulldogs. And now Ron Bever's going to call a timeout. After seeing what Central Hardin came out in.
So 5 seconds left to go, 51-48 again. John Hardin has already clinched the number 1 seed with their win over Fort Knox last week. North Hardin knocking town out of any chance of the number 1 with that win here at Ron Bever's last week. North Hardin, if they can tie and force overtime and win it in overtime, would get the number 2 seed by virtue of holding the second game tiebreaker over North Hardin, and subsequently, even if Elizabethtown were to run the table, they own the tiebreaker over E-Town.
Yes, they do. And for Elizabethtown, they've got to come out and play 2 heck of a game, especially against those John Hardin Bulldogs. But, when we watch this E-Town team, they have the ability to match up. Again, I just don't think they have the bench and the team that can withstand the pressure that John Hardin puts on everybody.
But again, we have to see how does John respond without Davion Green. Again, was injured his shoulder. Presume that he's out for not sure what amount of time, but it's all down to let's get back to this one. This is where it matters right now. Kerr at 5 seconds gets the ball. Squires puts up the shot and steps on the sideline, and that should do it.
And that play didn't look right from the beginning. It almost looked like Kerr got the ball, and he was expecting Elmore to set a pick for Squires to come around, and Elmore just turned around as if he was supposed to get the basketball.
1 second left to go. They'll get the ball in. Gosa goes to the floor. And a travel violation. Central gets the ball with 0 seconds on the clock. Remember, there's no 1/10 of a second clock here, which means could be anywhere from 9/10 of a second to 1/10. so it's not over yet.
And Bever's now going to call a timeout for the Trojans.
Because he wants to play on this one.
I would tell everybody get out around the three-point line. That would be the defensive call.
But again, you don't know how much time is left.
But they've got to shoot a three-pointer. I mean, they've got to catch and release almost in the process of catching the ball. They've got to shoot the ball as well. And so this will be a tough one. I don't think I would have let Coach Wright set up a play.
And conversely, though, if you're North at the same time, you're saying just get a hand in their face. Get up against them, but don't foul. Because remember, you shoot in the act of a three-pointer, you're giving somebody a chance to tie the game at the line. And again, we don't know. There could be 9/10 of a second on the clock. There could be 1/10 of a second.
And the interesting part here in the second half, Central Hardin has shot 0 free throws. And it would be interesting if somebody did foul them.
And do you foul them even before the play starts? They'll lob it in. Elmore pushes it up at the buzzer. They got a shot. But it banks off the glass. And North Hardin has held on for a 51-48. 51-48. North Hardin has defeated Central Hardin 51-48 in a back-and-forth ball game. The game never went between 1 and 3 points in the fourth quarter. North Hardin able to match every basket Central made and will pull out the three-point victory. Final scoring in the ball game for North Hardin, 16-7 overall, 4-5-3 now in the district. They will be the number 2 seed for the district tournament. Ruben Gosa finishes the night with 14. 9 in the ball game to Tyron King. Scotty Staruski finishes with 4. It was 2 points for Khalil Rashid. Tyler Landry finishes with 13 points, 9 in the ball game to Nick Lewis. For Central Hardin, 8-10 overall, 3-4 in the district. Troy Squires finishes the night with 19 points. It was 4 points in the ball game to Andy Kerr. Alex Crowder finishes with 15, 3 in the ball game to Cody Elmore, 7 points to Dylan Glenn, and that wraps up the scoring for Central Hardin. 51-48, Bobby Thompson. A back-and-forth ball game. North Hardin able to match baskets in the fourth quarter and come away with a victory.
Both of these teams tonight able to come away with taking the run of the other team and fighting back against that. North Hardin has the early run, second quarter. Central Hardin stormed back, and then in the second half, kind of a back-and-forth game. And they got into where they had to make basket for basket. They had some important possessions, and both teams were able to make big baskets at big times. And fortunately for the Trojans, they were able to make more of them there in the second half and come away with this three-point victory.
Thanks to the sponsors making possible coverage of this ball game. Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, E-Town Exterminating, Bluegrass Cellular, RetailApartments.com, by Mark Harris Construction, and by West Point Bank. For Bobby Thompson and the rest of our HCEC-TV crew, Lee Bramlett saying so long from North Hardin High School.
Friday night. Okay, right next to you, right? Yeah, right here.
This is a Hardin County educational and community television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming is sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs.
There are certain things that we are glad are only found halfway across the world, like lions, sandstorms, and volcanoes. Customer service, though, it's nice to have that close to home. Brandenburg Telephone Company and Brandenburg Telecom. We connect you to the world, all at the speed of local. You're local. We figure we should be local, too.
At Physical Therapy Associates, we treat a wide variety of injuries and disorders. Our specialties include orthopedics, back and neck pain, pre- and post-operative rehabilitation, sports medicine, work-related injuries, motor vehicle injuries, and diabetic neuropathy treatment. We also use kinesiotaping techniques and are a certified A-STEM provider. PTA is locally owned and operated by Guy Wallace with offices in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Hodgenville, Bardstown, and South Louisville. You can also visit our website at physicaltherapyky.com. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results.
At West Point Bank, we're proud to serve the community that you call home because we call it home too. We strive to provide excellent customer service, competitive products, and contribute to our community.
We are honored to contribute to Hardin County Schools and support its students because they are the future of our community. To our high school sports teams, good luck and best wishes for a successful season.
Hardin County, join us in supporting our students. We wish them the greatest success.
Imagine luxury living, great prices, and a convenient location. Are you thinking that no rental property can meet all those needs? I'm Karen Harris, and you can find all those qualities and more at etownapartments.com. We are family owned and operated with over 30 years combined experience. We offer luxury townhomes, apartments, duplexes, and single-family homes that are just minutes away from your workplace, school, shopping, and Fort Knox. You'll save gas, time, and money by taking a virtual tour at etownapartments.com. Or you can call me today to schedule your tour at 270-268-RENT.
There's a place that feels more connected, where life is more agreeable, more reliable, and more delightful every day. Where there's a blissful feeling of satisfaction with your wireless phone, your plan, and most of all, your service. It's the state of Blueforia, and you can only get there by way of Bluegrass Cellular. Welcome to Blueforia.
E-Town Exterminating, 737-6900. Also online at mugabug.com. On behalf of HCEC-TV, we would like to thank all of our sponsors.